Hey Sam, so this is a the document that I sent you. So when we do our in-person interviews, I actually have a printout of this. I have a copy for the interviewee and a copy for me. And this is, I'll just role play exactly how I explain it to the actual person. So this is how it goes. All right. Hey, John. So now I want to share with you our bonus structure. So this is how you can make more than 20 an hour every single week. So this is an example time card here. This is supposed to be like your first week on the job here with us. So as you can see, you have Monday through Friday, and then you have BH for route. What BH for route is budgeted hours for route. All budgeted hours are is, let's say I go to an estimate, right? And let's say a customer wants their lawn mowed, okay? So let's say I look at the lawn and I say to myself, okay, this lawn's going to take 1 hour for one guy to complete. That means it's one budget hour. Does that make sense? It's going to take one person 1 hour to do. Great. Yeah. So one budget hour. So you can see here, Monday, it says 8.5 budget hours. Now let's imagine this is like a mow route, right? So, you're doing a bunch of mows. Maybe this is 10, 12 mows, something like that. So you can how we get the 8.5 is you can imagine each mow has its own budget hours. So maybe the first mow is like one budget hour, maybe the second mow is 0.75 budget hours, third one might be zero point 0.8 budget hours. They just add up. All the budget hours for all the mows that day add up to 8.5. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it should take you 8.5 hours to complete the work. That's what we're budgeting for. Now, in actuality, it took you 9 hours to complete. It's from clock in to clock out. And that is okay. This is your first week on the job. It should take a little longer. You're training, you're getting used to it. That's normal. Now, you can skip this column for now. Just look at base pay. So base pay, as you know, we pay a guaranteed $20 an hour. So even though we had you scheduled for 8.5 hours of work, it took you 9 hours to do it. So you'll be paid for 9 hours. 9 times 20, 180. Then look at Tuesday. Again, it was 8.5 hours, but it took you 9.25. So you're paid for 9.25. 9.25 times 20, 185. And we do the same thing, 9, 9, 180, 8, 9, 180. Then what you'll notice down here is 8.5, 9.5, and the base pay says 75 plus 172.50. This 172.50 is overtime pay because, as you see, this person worked 45 hours. So if you work over 40 hours, you'll be paid 30 an hour. That's what this is. It's 30 an hour. That's your overtime. So on base pay, you make 972.50. Does that make sense? You worked 45 hours to make 972.50? Yeah. So it's just your normal 20 an hour plus overtime. Now I want to break down for you how we calculate P4P. So again, all P4P is a belief that our team members should earn a third of the revenue they make the company every day. In layman's terms, all that means is, okay, you made however much money you make the company today, you get a third of it. So how that works out math-wise is P4P, again, pay for performance, equals total labor revenue. Now, all total labor revenue means, again, is how much money did you make the company today, times P4P percent, which is 33%, a third. So let's do Monday. Let's break down Monday. So Monday, you can see, was 8.5 budgeted hours, right? So if you go down here, you see we put 8.5 budget hours in this formula. Now, we're multiplying it by 70. The reason we're multiplying by 70 is our man-hour rate. So what you can see down here is, let's say let's go back to that mow example, right? So I'm looking at a lawn, and I say, okay, this will take 1 hour for one guy to cut. How do we get the price for that mow estimate? Well, all we do is we take our man-hour rate. So our man-hour rate's 70. So when I get the price, I say, okay, it's one budget hour. So we do the budget hours, 1 times the man-hour rate, 70. 1 times 70, $70. The mow is $70. Does that make sense? Yeah. So how you figure out how much money you made the company a day is you take the man-hour rate of 70, and you multiply it by whatever the budget hours were for that day. So for Monday, it's 8.5, so it's 8.5. 70 times 8.5, it gets you like $600. It's like $590 something, but to make the math simple, let's just call it $600, right? We're going to round up. So 600 total labor revenue times 0.33, the P for P, so a third. A third of 600 is $200. Now, if you look at your P for P for the day, you will see it was $196, which is right around $200. Like I said, we rounded up. So Monday, 8.5 budget hours, you make 196 on P4P. Tuesday, the budget hours are exactly the same. So P4P, exactly the same. Because even though it took you longer to complete, it doesn't matter how long you were clocked in. It's how many budget hours did you complete. So 8.5, 196. You do more budget hours in a day, you make a little more. So 9 hours, 207.90. If you do less, 8, 184.80. And then here's how we determine your pay every single week, Sam. So all we do is we total up these two columns. We total up your base pay, so 972.50, and then we total up your P4P, 981.75. Whichever number is higher, you are paid that number. So in this example, you get the 981.75. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's not much. It's only like a $9 difference, but better than nothing. You get a little bonus. Now, this is where P4P really starts to shine. So this is supposed to be like your 4th week on the job, right? So at this point, you know what you're doing. You've been mowing the same properties for like 4 weeks. You're more efficient. You're better at the job. You're not wasting time. You're not sitting on your phone for an hour. You're just doing good work. So as you can see, this is the same exact mow route. So same mow routes, right? Monday's 8.5, Tuesday's 8.5, Wednesday's 9. Nothing has changed. You're visiting the same properties, doing the same work. The only difference now is, like I said, you're better at the job. You're more efficient. You're working quicker. You're more skilled. You're not being trained. So instead of taking 9 hours on Monday, it took you 6.8. And look, you're under budget hours. Tuesday, it took you 7.5. Wednesday, it took you 7.9. Now, obviously, you worked 8 less hours, right? So your base pay is less, right? Because you were clocked in for 8 less hours. Now, the reason we don't just pay $20 an hour and just call it a day with our workers is I would be punishing my best workers, and I would be giving them a $200 pay cut for getting better at the job. Because these people completed the same amount of work, but they did it quicker, and they would get a pay cut of $200. So instead, they just get the $981.75. Does that make sense? Yeah. So as you can see, this person worked 45 hours. This person worked 37. They got the same exact paycheck. He worked 8 less hours, but he's better at the job, more efficient, so he earned it. Now, if you look down here, we actually total it up. Your P4P for both weeks. Week 1, 981. Week 2, 981. And then base pay, week 1, 800 plus the overtime. Week 2, 754. You can see you actually make more on P4P than you do on base pay. You make like 220 bucks more. And then if you're curious on the math, we did it for you. The employee makes $23.53 an hour on P4P versus $20 an hour on base pay. Does that make sense? Yeah. So really, we just pay our guys who want to work hard, want to be skilled, want to get better at the job. They make more money here. And on average, our guys, you seem like a guy who's making like $23, $24 an hour after your first month here. And we have guys making as much as like $28, $30 an hour every week. But they obviously are very hardworking, very efficient. But you could do that too. Does that all make sense? Cool. Any questions? Great. All right, let's move on. So that's it, Sam. I explained it just like that. Every single interview with the people, I just try to break it down in easiest terms possible. It's like, hey, you have 8.5 hours of work today. Get under 8.5. Like the thing is, they will understand this when they see it, but they're gonna forget this, and that's okay. As long as they keep in their head, hey, there's budget hours. As long as I do the work in less than whatever budget hours I'm supposed to do that day, I will make extra money. Like that's all they need to know. Let me know if you have any questions on that.